The Keshe Foundation, an independent, non-profit, non-religious, space-based organization founded by nuclear engineer Mehran Tavakoli Keshe, is introducing to humanity the science of the universe, plasma science. Keshe Foundation develops universal knowledge and space technologies that provide solutions to major global problems, revolutionizing agriculture, health, energy, transportation, materials, and more. The application of plasma science in the form of specially developed plasma reactors and other devices will give humanity the real freedom to travel in deep space. Plasma science exists throughout the whole universe. It is here and it belongs to you. Our knowledge, research, and development regarding the plasma structure has progressed to the point of enabling everyone to participate in the process. Become a creator and understand the work of the universe for the good of humankind on this planet as well as in space. The use of megravs, nanomaterials, Gans, liquid plasma, field plasma, and other plasma technologies have come as a new dawn for humanity to progress and work in harmony with the universe. Conventional technology applications are wasteful, damaging, and cause pollution to the planet and all living beings. Plasma science provides solutions and improves existing methods and use of resources in all aspects that touch the lives of all beings. Plasma is defined by the Foundation as an entire content of fields which accumulate and create matter and is not defined by its physical characteristics like ionization or temperature. Also, with plasma science, we understand how we can convert matter back to the fields. Quoting from Mr. Keshe, MEGRAV stands for magnetic gravitational, which means plasma absorbs or gives. And every plasma has the both. It has give and it has take. And when they can't find the balance, they distance themselves until they find the balance they can give to the others, that they can receive what they want to receive and give further. Certain atoms and molecules release and absorb magnetic or gravitational fields. Released fields are available to be absorbed by other objects. The Keshe Foundation has developed a way to gather these free-flowing fields from the environment within a resourceful and beneficial new state of transitional matter, which M.T. Keshe named Gans. The first step of the process of the formation of various basic types of Gans is nano-coating metals. This is carried out either chemically by etching, steam coating with sodium hydroxide, or thermally by heating, fire coating by gas burner. During either coating process, gaps between outermost layers of atoms are created. The residual coating is often referred to as nano-coating, defined by the structured layers of nanomaterial, which build up during the creation process of the coating. Nano-coated metal in interaction with other various metal plates in a saltwater solution creates megrav fields. These fields then attract available elements to form a specific Gans, which collects and settles at the bottom of the container. This Gans is formed from independent energized molecules, little suns that can be used in various applications. Just as we require Earth suits to live on this planet, we would require ships for travel.
Hello, Rick, are you there?
Yes. Just trying to get a screen set up that's something we can look at here.
Yeah, we got a background already, so you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see that Flynn had taken over there. All right. So, welcome everyone to the 198th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, November 16th, 2017. And once again, we'll hear from Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute and other knowledge seekers as we go through this session. I think Mr. Keshe is ready to begin for today. Is that true, Mr. Keshe?
I hope so. Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you very much for the new video, which has been done by Ella, the head of Keshe Foundation. This is the new way of teaching. We show the purpose of the science. It's not just to bring nano-coating and other things, but it's a background, the backbone to create peaceful conditions. Will be most probably be done further, that we understand while we're learning, these knowledge seekers, why we are here for and what is the science behind it. As we heard last week, the Universal Council and the Earth Council will submit their constitution and the ethos. We heard from the Universal Earth Council last week, the constitution which is set out by humanity. We have received approval and support from a number of high-level politicians and governments that they support such a move. Today and in the following weeks, we try to read, or at least leave it to the members of each national language to read the constitution in their own language as is translated by them. Today we hear from one of our languages, which is in Chinese. As we heard Dr. Rodriguez reading the constitution on behalf of the Earth Council last week, today one of the members supporting Universal Council members will read the Chinese, and will then be translated. Next week, hopefully, we'll have the French and other languages as is done. Because we are here not just for the English spoken, but for everyone to understand. And this is the beauty of this foundation. We are all equal, and all does not need to be English. As much as we can, all the teachings are getting translated in a number of languages in the background, which a member of the transcribers group will come. And next couple of weeks, you will see new videos how you can reach these teachings. Language is not a barrier. The soul is a common denominator. Is Rita in the background that she could let us know the Chinese translation of the Constitution, please?
Is that Ruthie? Is that
Ruthie? Yes, please. Is she there?
Yes, I believe so. Ruthie, I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Good morning, Ruthie. How are you, darling? Are you ready to let us know in your mother language that we can feel this?
Yeah, I'm ready. So please share that. Yeah, thank you. 所以 now I started in Chinese. 我们连接到蓝色星球地球的所有众生的灵魂，在此创造蓝色星球地球宪法，一个国家，一个星球，一个人种。宪法，地球委员会创立的宗旨是为了保证在所有被创造的生命和市民之间给予所有的生命同等的权利，在这个星球以及星球之外永远没有任何的冲突或者战争，通过对所有被创造的生命的潜能的理解，能够结束战争并建立和平。和平前进的道路必须要认识到，解决方案只可能通过对话和提升对方的灵魂而达到，而不是通过贬低或者消除任何一方的灵魂或者物理存在。和平必须成为这个星球上的每一个众生的所有的行动目标。委员会将成为这一运动的旗手，以创造一个可以在地球实现和平的环境。 在来自地球的生灵，以及选择来到这个星球生活的生灵，以及来自地球并选择生活在太空的生灵之间，和平必须成为存在的基石。地球必须成为一个所有物种进化的和平的摇篮。我们作为地球委员会，承认地球是太阳系、银河系、宇宙和无极宇宙的一部分，因此地球需要通过支持提升地球和所有居住在它身上的生命来完成造物周期的一部分，通过当前的进化周期提升它们成为更圆满、更和平的存有。我们承认地球母亲本身是一个活的实体，拥有它自己的灵魂。从每一个原子到每一棵植物、每一个动物、人类、昆虫、微生物等等，还有所有那些还未被发现的生物，都和地球的场一样，拥有灵魂，分享造物主的本质。我们共同一起组成地球的集体灵魂。我们承认地球上的所有的其他生物，包括动物、植物、生态系统和其他看不见的生物，以及地球母亲本身，都需要得到支持和哺育，并且在和平中茁壮成长。所有的一切都将得到支持并茁壮成长，这将反过来提升不仅是地球上的生命，而是所有整体的生命，因为我们承认我们是整体的一部分。相互合作、协作、共享，对整体的福祉做出贡献，应该成为地球委员会的核心任务。我们将致力于创造一种滋养并且和谐的环境，让所有的生灵都能够以他们自己的独特的方式茁壮成长。地球委员会的6名成员，地球的每一个大陆有1名成员代表，分别是非洲、亚洲、澳大利亚、欧洲、北美洲和南美洲。每个成员Sorry, can you go back a little? Go up a little, yeah. No, yeah, this, yeah. 每个成员代表着那些生活在那个大陆的人民，以及居住在那里的所有的生灵的需求和愿望。选择过程，成员必须至少在2大洲居住过，并且至少会说2种语言，这样就拥有一个更广泛的理解视角，在处理问题的时候能够考虑到所有人类的需求。纯净的灵魂，这6名地球委员会的成员来这里服务大众，通过对他们灵魂的理解，显化为肉身。地球委员会授权、支持、服务、提供和保护，带来对我们灵魂的理解。力量来自于我们的内在，用于自我管理，以及在自己和其他灵魂的互动中，创造一个和平的共生的环境。我们的意图，让每一个生活在我们称为地球的蓝色星球上的灵魂展现出最好的一面，让我们的灵魂在肉体中显化，在地球和太空中拥有生活在和平、爱和信任当中的自由。我们的愿望，让所有造物的生灵生活在和平、和谐与宁静中，是时候让所有的众生公平、礼貌的平等分享和访问资源。地球委员会将为一切众生提供如下服务和支持：1. 结社自由； 2. 言论自由； 3. 迁徙自由； 4. 免于饥饿的自由； 5. 免于资源匮乏的自由； 6. 探索通往理解我们灵魂的道路的自由； 7. 学习自由； 8. 通过我们的天赋贡献社会，实现我们的抱负的自由； 9. 通过灵魂选择是否、如何以及何时通过肉身显化的自由； 10. 免于成为他人财产的自由。11、创新技术和和平应用的信息免受压制的自由。12、分享自由。13、思维自由。14、爱和给予的自由。15、选择自由。16、语言自由。17、摆脱货币体系的自由。18、免于处罚的自由，没有囚禁或处决。19、免于冲突和战争的自由。20、免于恐惧他人否认我们拥有的所有的自由。没有边界，没有肤色、种族或信仰之路的区别，没有文化偏见或货币壁垒，使之彼此对立或不公平地给予一方更多的利益。将没有世袭头衔或继承的领导角色，包括王权、家族、独裁或任何皇室的头衔，将不再害怕任何罪行的惩罚，废除一切形式的监禁和死刑，提升犯错误的人的灵魂。通过灵魂层次的教育和分享知识，所有人类都会自我提升。惩罚对灵魂层次上理解他自己的场的强度没有作用。不需要货币体系来交换货物和劳务，我们将创造一个不需要金钱的环境。当我们所有的身体的需要都很容易得到满足，工作只是为了给别人和自己带来快乐，将不再有贫穷或匮乏，因为所有的物质需求都将得到满足。任何物品将不再具有任何货币价值。这个蓝色星球上的货币体系的终结将带来健康的人类时代和所有人之间的真爱。工作应该是因为纯粹喜欢或是乐于服务他人，提升他人和我们自己的灵魂。凡是想成为决策者或和指导者的人，都可以通过对他们灵魂的理解来服务，并得到他人的同意，使他们能够履行所要求的角色。理解的提升将允许我们承认每个灵魂所具有的特殊的磁场强度，允许他们服务于他人的利益，并提升整个人类。这些人将服务于启发、激励和提升他人。领导者将产生于获得他人同意来进行服务的人的灵魂。我们尊重这个蓝色星球以及地球之外的所有形式和形状的生命实体。地球上的每一个生灵都应该享有同样的自由，能够在享有尊严和相互尊重的环境中与所有其他人和平共处的自由。只要能给予他人照顾和尊重，所有人都能自由选择他们所期望的生活方式。这个星球上的所有生灵都应该得到支持，使他们能在没有匮乏的情况下生活，应优先满足住房、水、食物、安全、材料的基本需求，能源场、地球或宇宙的资源使用的自由，以及和平与稳定，以使人们获得情感上的幸福以及对觉悟的追求。多样性都是造物主独特而多样的表现形式。我们将接纳和赞颂世界的多样性，这给我们的生活带来了富饶。应该支持和鼓励每个生命去获得知识，尤其是人类需要去探索和理解这些知识的自由，而只有在无需为生存而挣扎的情况下才能获得这种知识。必须优先创造出工具，使人类变得独立并对自己负责任。在一种负责任的生活方式中，将由生命的灵魂来支配和决定，以平等的方式为全体造物的利益服务。这是人类历史上的第一次，以灵魂层面的自由意志，从婴儿时便开始学习如何认识灵魂。当发生自然灾害时，我们必须帮助受灾地区的所有生灵，不偏袒任何人，支持所有的人。这包括了解行星的生态系统，了解所有生命在他们生命周期中的需求。在富足或灾难的时候，所有生命都将获得分享资源。 当发生冲突时，我们必须通过谈判给所有各方和平的结果。全人类必须得到持久的和平。只有充分考虑所有各方需求时，才能做到这一点。所有生命都应受到保护，免受肉体和情感上的伤害。决策程序，多数人不会侵犯任何少数人的自由，通过对话以及灵魂的提升来达成共识。每一个决定必须利益所有人。每个人都将得到尊重、公平和全面的平等。灵魂将以和平的方式支配每一个行动，为地球带来和平。我们的目标必须包括地球上的所有人，服务所有人的需求是实现这个目标的唯一途径。邀请，来吧，世界上从最小到最大的造物们，我们一起来庆祝、品尝和接纳和平、爱、信任和自由。所有的生命一起来提升人类及其意识的最高水平，提升灵魂。所有的灵魂放下所有侵略的武器、仇恨和分别，让我们在这个叫做地球的蓝色星球上一起享有和平与安宁。所有生命将和谐共存，包括被称为地球的蓝色星球以及整个宇宙的所有造物。直到人类的灵魂理解了他们在宇宙普遍规律范围内的运作和地位，物理行为的指导原则才是正确的。灵魂应该知道各个造物层面的一切，所有生命的灵魂都有平等和平相处的自由，都有在地球及地球之外繁荣发展的自由。所有生命的灵魂将带来最好的天赋、力量和美丽，在整个造物世界中分享和繁荣。收回权利，灵魂支配地球上的所有生命的权利。权利并不只是在那些以控制或支配他人为目的的任何领导人或实体手上。权利来自于我们内在对他人的爱和给予。和平、爱、幸福和自由。这个地球的宪法体现了和平、爱、信任和所有生灵的灵魂自由的最佳意图，包括整个造物中的其他实体。宪法是授权所有的存有都要带着愉悦去做正确的事，去工作，服务于身边和其他的灵魂，一起去欣赏创造的美丽。这种宪法是流动的，可以根据需要随时调整。例如，人的行为，Sorry, can you go down? I cannot see the last paragraph. 例如，人的行为、和平共存、人与人之间的和平条约，在这个我们称为地球的蓝色的星球上，没有战争或任何形式的侵略。和与来自宇宙不同区域的其他实体的接触。附录，由蓝色星球地球的人们的灵魂编写，地球委员会的成员作为代表。联系邮件地址 peace.theearthcouncil.org。Thank you, everyone. So this is the Chinese version of Constitution.
Thank you very much, Ruthie. What is the reaction of the Chinese community since last week that we've seen this constitution?
Oh, I didn't share this Chinese version to them yet. So because I just finished the final version before our teaching. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll wait and see what comes up from the Chinese community and what reactions we get from the supporters of the Keshe Foundation in China. Thank you very much, Ruthie. Is there any comment from you?
Yeah, I really love this. I think now we have a common constitution for all the things living in this world. And this constitution have so many beautiful good intention to join us together to have a really peaceful, harmony environment for and a fair environment for everyone. So I think that's so great.
Thank you very much indeed. Any other members of the Earth Council who would like to make any comments?
There is a question whether there's an English version link on the internet yet for people to read the English. But I don't think we have it on the website yet. Perhaps
It'll be all uploaded this week.
Okay.
The English, all the versions will be uploaded this week. There is a part of the teaching next week, hopefully, or so. We'll receive that to show how to use the YouTube with all the translation and transcripts, which has been transcribed in some of the teachings. The Constitution, what I call any amendments, will be added online as the requests or points of views is considered by the Earth Council to be changed to amended. This is the way we go, and this is part of the setup and the work we have to do in equally sharing knowledge and the work of the peace together to bring the changes as we see it. So in the meeting of the Public and the Earth Council and Universal Council last Tuesday, we raised the point that we need our attentions and work in a very specific direction, and what we call collective effort of us as Keshe Foundation. We see in horizon a massive war which is getting planned. We see a massive war. It'll be affecting every one of us. This plan of war or aggression or whatever can be resolved. It's part of what has been done over plans of 100 years, 50, 150 years ahead, and it's become sequential into this process. We see a very harsh part times of work of certain organizations and groups to create conflict for control and financial control. What we have done and what we are doing, we are reaching the soul of the leaders of all sides in this planned conflict, which they literally have no say in. It's been set up and they have to follow the pattern. There is a huge conflict set up between Iran as a Shia country and the Sunni Muslim countries of Saudi Arabia and their allies. The same with the allies of Iran. We call through the soul, and we hope we have the support of your knowledge seekers and understanding of the work of the soul on the leaders of Iranian government and Sepah, and on the Saudi leadership and the rest of the Islamic world. The line of descendants of Muhammad does not change the book of Muhammad, bless his name. Do not allow change of line of leadership becomes the end of a faith. There's a lot to be achieved in Iran, and there's a lot to be achieved with Saudi Arabia and their allies on both sides. We raise the soul of both parties, that they come to an understanding that they are born to play the game of. My call goes to the Saudi leadership and to the Islamic world on the Sunni side. Brothers, do not fight. We all come from the same lineage. We all come from one father. We all come from one understanding. And my request from the Iranian government, Your Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei, Your Excellency President Rouhani, attend the peace conference which has been arranged and will be announced. The same goes to the Saudi king and leadership of other Islamic countries. Step down from talk of war. Let's unite. Keshe Foundation has taken leadership and we have received the support of negotiation and the start of talk between both sides. And it's not me anymore, it's the soul of the Keshe Foundation supporters to raise the soul of both parties' leadership, that we walk away from this mayhem which is planned. We need peace, and through peace we'll achieve more. We are active in the background for negotiation, and I know the Iranian leadership listens to these teachings, the same as the Saudis. We don't talk about what can be done to each other, we talk about what we can do together. There's a lot we can achieve, and there is more through peace that can bring beauty of the Middle East out. Unity in faith and unity in soul is the ultimate goal of the Keshe Foundation. By killing and by destroying each other's assets, the only beneficiaries are those who have already made the secondary plants and the oil refineries to sell, not the nations which are at the battlefield. We invite both parties to the peace conference which is getting organized, and we have the backing of the world leadership. Keshe Foundation will stand firm in these peace negotiations. Ayatollah Rouhani, the President of Iran, Your Excellency, I speak in Farsi. دست صلح بهتر از جنگ باخته است. We need the hand of peace than losing war for the other parties. This time, scientific intellectual right of man should prevail on peace. We take the leadership in peace negotiation in a very direct manner, and we have entered into it. And the Earth Council, the Universal Council, and the member of core team and the rest of the Keshe Foundation, we know we have changed the ways. Verbal talk is the confirmation of acceptance. We need to reach the soul of the leaders. Thank you very much. In the process of the teaching, as we saw last week, we tried to explain more, to understand the connection between different aspects of the work of the soul and the connections with its physicality. The work of the soul, the creation of the soul of the man, which manifests itself in a physical, tangible condition, can only happen if the condition and the environment for it is available to happen. What I said in the teaching of last week was that the universe cannot expand if the room for expansion was not there for it. The expansion contains two things: magnetical and gravitational field forces that allows creation of the balanced field in both sides. What this means is a plasma has to give to its environment and take from its environment to find a balance between itself and its environment. The creation of the confirmation of the existence comes when the two entities confirm their existence through the interaction of their fields. We cannot see the existence, cannot feel the presence of the sun if the gravitational magnetic fields of the earth does not interact with the fields of it. And then in that process, each one manifests its own existence and its dimension. So, in so many ways, the interaction of the fields of two entities confirm not only the existence of the two, but the boundary and the physical presence and manifestation of it. In English we say, it needs two to tango. It needs to have a partner to show the beauty of the dance. It's the same in so many ways now that our knowledge has come to flourish and understand more about the structure of the soul, to expand more, to understand more, and to realize the reality of the creation in any point in the universe. What we achieve on this planet to confirm our existence in a physical dimension of human body needs the presence of the soul of the earth, which are the fields interaction of the earth with the soul of the man, that with it confirms the physicality of the man. Our physical body is created on the limitation of the dimensions of the strength of the soul, which sees in the womb of the mother, in respect to earth, gravitational magnetic fields, and plus the soul of the physical entity which has created the soul of the man. You've got to realize every piece, every atom, every cell in the sperm and in the seed of the male and female has a soul. So the collective soul of these entities, these amino acids in proteins, leads to the creation of the soul of the being. And then that soul, in its interaction in totality with the soul of the earth, dictates the physical balance between all the entities, which leads to the creation of the physicality of the man. Collectively, the soul of the man, in radiating in the fields, in the womb of the mother, in the presence of the fields, gravitational magnetic field, of the field of the matters within the womb of the mother, which in a way creates an environment for the soul of the child to take shape, now in interaction with the soul of the planet, leads to the creation of the physicality of the child. This is the same with every entity, being a plant, being a bird, being a fish. But in this process, the emotion and the confirmation of the guarantee to exist, which becomes the physical dimension, the soul of the entity, in respect to the soul of the totality and the soul of planet, brings into play the color, the shape, the size, and everything else. So our emotion from the establishment of the interaction of the two fields dictates, has a communication line between understanding the soul of the planet and the soul of the physicality. The reality is that when we travel into deep space, we have to understand this. That the interaction between the strength of the soul of the man and the dimension of his physicality as a soul with the environment which enters dictates the same, the shape of the man or the shape of the soul in a physical dimension in the universe. We will not see physicality to the man, but we shall see the physicality conformation once we reach the dimension where we decide to interact with. Rick, can we share your screen and your table, please? This is important for us to understand. Can you open it up? We see you as a corner. Thank you very much. What this means is, in so many ways, if we take the bigger magnet as the soul of the planet, and then we take the soul of the man as the second magnet, which is the black one, then you see they create a conformation of position in respect to each other. And in that point, we come to one thing. The interaction of the two has to have a physicality, which that physicality can be shown in the shape of very small entity, which is the physicality of the man. The soul of the man, can we have your third ring please in the middle? If you see what this does, the small ring, which is the physicality of the man, finds its balance in position in respect to the two souls of the planet. And when it reaches a balance point, this is where we manifest ourselves in the dimension of physicality. If we change the bigger ring, which is the soul of the planet or the environment we enter, which in fact is gravitational field balance between itself and internal, the shape and the position and the distance from the soul of the man and the physicality, which is a small ring in between, will change. Because now it has a different size. If you replace the bigger one with a smaller, with another magnet, you will see the balance point changes. And this is how our soul will stay the same. Once we change the environmental magnetic fields, the position, the distance between the physical dimension and the soul of the man will take a new shape, new distance. This goes back to all the teaching we've done before. Just replace it, replace the big one. You can see it very clearly. So what we have to understand, the soul of the man will not change. The environmental gravitational magnetic field which we appear will dictate how we will look. And the shape and the distance. This is what I said in the teaching in the past. On Earth we need 2 arms and 2 legs, because the boundary of the physicality dictated by the soul of the environment which we are, which is the Earth. If we move the other, the position changes. If the gravitational moves out or magnetical moves in different dimension, you see the middle magnet, which is the physicality of the man, moves with it. If you pull that magnet a little bit backwards, the small one, no, that one here. Just push it forward, bring it forward and push it back. This is what it dictates. This is how we change shape in size and time. This is how, if you look when the field was further, stop there please. This is where the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth in balance with the Sun allowed bigger animals, dinosaurs, and other entities. Now the gravitational field of the Sun, because we are getting closer and closer to it, is changing the size. We cannot support, because now a bigger gravitational magnetic field, which is the Sun, has the same structure. And now you're seeing, if we reduce the field, the soul is stronger, needs a bigger distance to confirm its existence, so you get a different shape and size. Now we understand the knowledge fully, we can show it in a physical dimension that can be understood. But in fact, the soul of the man does not change. If we understand this point, we'll come to a very interesting position. That it's us who decides how and what fields we release from our soul. That even in the new position, we still carry the shape of the man. Even though, in respect to the other environment, if we stay in balance, we can see a new entity. This is an important understanding, because if I put another soul which is created on Earth, then when you see another soul from Earth, he sees the figure of a man. He does not see the new figure of the environment. This is how you recognize each other in a space, even though you take shape of the new environment. This is the beauty of understanding the total knowledge. It means when we meet a soul which is created in the dimension fields of the amino acid of the planet, even though it does not carry any of its physicality, because we carry the same, we see the feature of the man on Earth. We see the soul in a manifestation of physicality. But from somebody who stands outside, will see the dimension of both of us in the feature of what we decided to be. This changes the game. This changes the game for those who have the potential to see. On the street, you walk a black man, you walk past a white man, you pass any other color, shape. But if you are from Earth, you know he's from Earth. And the other one is not from this planet. Because you see the soul of the man in the way that you have manifested yourself in. And the same with him. This is how in the space we recognize each other. And for those of you who are educated in the knowledge of universe, you can see. Many of these entities, when you go into space, carry no skeleton, because the dimension of the fields does not support. But to you and me, we look humans. Now you have seen the reason and the position. Man has to come to become intelligent to understand the process of creation. This is the same. We understand the process. Now we have to comprehend the process. Now with this, it puts away the fear of death in space. We never die. We transform according to the existence confirmation of the position of our physicality in respect to the gravitational magnetic field of the environment. Then we understand where we see the small magnet does not need to be a planet. It can be a field which has not transferred or transformed to become an entity at the strength of our line of observation. Then you understand that in a space we do not need planet to manifest ourselves. This is what we understand. Somebody's microphone is open in the background, please. Now we understand that the whole process of creation is position, field, magnetical, gravitational, strength dependent. When you go in a ballroom, and a ballroom is very crowded, you cannot dance waltz so openly. You conform to the numbers. If they clear the dance floor and you can dance the whole dance ball, then you dance different. It's the same with the existence, manifestation of the physicality in the universe. This is what we have to understand. This is how in teachings we bring the two dimensions of the soul and the physicality and the matter state which you used up to now to confirm, to bring the knowledge together. The soul of the entities in the universe is all, and they all shine the same, but of different strength, internal field strength. And when you subject them to another field, we can see their manifestation. This is the same in the space. When we enter a space, we cannot be of the aggression and warmongering, because to every entity that has a level of understanding and a color and the strength positioning, then we are red long before we reach the gun. This is what will be used in the case of what we explained a few minutes ago in respect to Iran and Saudi Arabia and the Islamic world. The soul of Muhammad counts, not the crown and the seat of kingship or leadership. We show the soul of Muhammad, bless his name, that he rules, not them. This is what is important for all of us to understand. It's us who can dictate the environment. And this is what the Keshe Foundation supporters are understanding gradually. We are changing the soul of the planet through our wish. Through us giving from the field of internal life what we have created ourselves out of to manifest ourselves. Then we see, if you push that physical body, can you move that small ring in the middle towards the soul? The center one. Move it to the black, the big black. It has to move. The soul has to move, because it's the wish of our physical soul which dictates the new environment. Our physical soul does not want to go through the pain of loss, because we feel it. Thank you very much. Our physical body does not want to see another war. And through the strength collectively produce, we can move the soul. Be the king, be the president, be any title. Because if you look between the physical entity and the soul of the entity, there is no seat of kingship. There is no seat for the man to sit on. This is what we got to understand. This is what I said in the other teachings, that to help those in disaster, we do not need to be there to give them the feeling and the emotion of comfort. So will be the same in the time of peace. We do not need to move 250,000 soldiers to push for peace. We move 250,000 energies of souls that will move the kings and the leaders. The time of change is a peaceful operation, not marching on the streets. I can wish and I will achieve. My wish is my command. End of a kingdom is a push of the fields of the soul of a man. This is what we have to understand. Now, if you look at a bigger magnet and you put it in between the small one and the big, medium black one, you will see, bring it in, the same as was before. The same position. Now, move it back in between. Yep. And find a position. Find a position which be as before, that it finds balance. Yeah, the position of balance, which confirms the physicality. Now, can you get the other little one which just put away and put it in the center of the big one? Can you get it in? Yep. It'll be very difficult. Let it go. Now, try to see if you can move the two towards the other two. The one we just made. Just try to move it, yeah. Now you see. New position, new move. When we add our souls into the soul of the planet, we see the physicality moves. Or we can, same point, if you create in a position, the soul will move. Just move it forward. Just carry on moving. That's how easy it is to get rid of the physicality of the kingship. Even though the soul of the king will stay. The same with any world leader. This is where the strength of the new understanding comes in. We create a new environment that leads to the creation of new fields. We change the environment of the soul of this planet because we have changed the wishes of the man in respect to physicality, in respect to the soul of the man. This is the change of the position. This is the change of understanding. This is how we do not need to do anything but to add to the soul of this planet in what is missing. Which brings it peace, that the soul of the man runs the physicality of the man, irrespective of what physicality will manifest itself into. The soul will exist, and then comes conformity to peace, to balance. And this is what in my teachings in the past I said, there is something is missing in the mixture of the soul of this planet. And now we can see it's not zinc. It's the intention of the soul of the man to replace that the physicality becomes irrelevant. Every man stands equal in his soul in respect to the soul of this planet. Then you can have any shape or form. then we all understand the manifestation of physicality becomes irrelevant. Because our soul moves within the soul of the structure, not outside affecting the physicality of the structure, which is much easier. When we released the Constitution, was for us to be able to explain this. We can move, but if we do, then they said, he said he did. But if we move, we say we did, and we done. The fear of those who call themselves world leaders is the loss of their physicality through the control of their soul for themselves to create a new dimension in manifestation. Not out of the fear of losing their leadership. This is what and how I explain there shall be no king. Because I know I can touch, reach the physical dimension through the soul, that the soul sees shame to be a leader, to have the physicality in that dimension. The process of manifestation of physicality in the space has to come to the point of satisfaction between the soul and the dimension of manifestation itself, in respect to the totality of the environment. At the time of death, the soul of physicality moves within the soul of the man. In a very secret way, in a very hidden way. I have already explained this in one of the papers. When you read the paper again, with a new understanding, you will understand I have already unraveled this secret in that paper. It's called interatomic fusion. Where I say there is easier to bring an electron into the proton than trying to fuse two neutrons or two plasmas, because the two are made of the same. In so many ways, at the time of death, if you remove the single black point away, please, Rick. At the time of death, this is our position. Our physical dimension sits, because of its strength, in the center of our soul. In a deep space travel, this is the condition of our existence. We decide when that soul moves out to create the physical manifestation. We, as a soul, in respect to the presence of another field, decide if we allow this entity, which is the dimension of our physicality, to move out to manifest our existence in a physical dimension. In part of my teachings, in past 190 or 200 teachings, I have explained this, where I say that the soul of physicality of the man moves in. It gets absorbed back into the soul of the man, that it becomes one. And in that time, it'll manifest itself at a dimension and the position of the strength where the soul decides. In so many ways, when we had the small black ring and the other ring, that was the manifestation in confirmation of the existence in the presence of another field. But at the time of the travel, when the man becomes wise to understand, the energy of the physicality will move within the center of the soul of the man. And then, like a birth of the mother, you see the replication of what you see here as a womb of the mother and the soul of the child. There is no difference in different level of existence in the universe. It's the man who has not understood up to now. This is important for us because the teaching of today opens the door for man how to live and how to manifest itself in the deepest space. You can travel from one point on this planet to another faster with your soul than your physicality. Even though, because you are in the same environment as Earth, you manifest yourself, you still be yourself. Because the soul travels with that dimension where the physicality needs that transformation. This goes back to the teaching, what I said last week and what I said before. Properties in New York and Washington, properties in Tokyo or in Tehran or anywhere else will be worth nothing once the man learns the technology and understands how to do it. This is part of the instant transportation. This is a part of being in the soul of another entity without the entity knowing what the physicality is doing. This is part of totality of controlling one soul in respect to its one physicality, but it cannot touch another. Those who came out with the machines to control the mind, now they know the revenge comes from the soul. Those who rape the brain through the physicality will pay back in the same way. We make sure of that. There'll be no blood of them left to repeat the same mistakes, because the soul would not allow it. This is the balance of peace in respect to understanding the totality of the creation, even though this knowledge is just the tip of the iceberg of the total knowledge. This teaching was told to Christ, bless his name, but he never shared. But he used for the manifestation of himself on the cross. There is no resurrection if you understand the process of creation. The whole understanding of the technology is to understand every field can live in peace. If your physical dimension fields can live within the dimension of your soul, then you understand is there a need to move that outside the soul? And then when it moves, what is the dimension of its understanding of its environment to manifest itself? The soul of the man, once created, stays in balance. And if you understand the dimension of the control between the physicality, which is dictated by the soul of the planet or the environment, that you receive as much as you decide to manifest yourself, then the life of the man runs in thousands of years. Is the force of the existence of the soul on this planet to manifest itself in physicality, which gives the man the short term of life, physical life on this planet. And the sooner the man understands this, the sooner he'll operate through his soul than his physicality. Then kingship, leadership, being physically somewhere is irrelevant. This is what in the teachings I explained, that you tracked the physicality into the soul. Not the physical body, but the soul of the physicality into the soul of the man. And then you can manifest yourself anywhere in the universe. This is the structure of what we call a neutron. The neutron inside it has the electron present. It opens up, it lets it out, and it closes. Then it manifests itself as an atom of hydrogen. Now maybe with this we understand what is in the books as nuclear decay. The energy we see when a neutron opens up to split into a proton and electron is the opening of the gap for this electron, which is the physical confirmation of manifestation of it, to be released. It doesn't come from chopping another piece itself, because the manifestation of the physicality is already internally within itself. And those of you who understand in the space technology or are working on the fuel, then you understand why you have different hydrogens. Because your neutron comes from different strengths and different sides. For those who work in the space technology launch, it's good for you to understand the totality of the unified field. Read the paper, Unified Field Theory, now that you understand this. And then you understand what needs to be done. The human race has been given the full knowledge of travel into deep space. It's you who's got to decide. You want to walk it, you want to cycle it, you want to go with a car, you decide to go with a jumbo jet, or you travel with a new space knowledge to the soul of the man. None of them are wrong. It depends what gives you the pleasure. It depends how fast you want to reach the point of destination, or you want to enjoy the scenery. This is the addition to the present knowledge. It's nothing from outside. It's something which we already know. Now we have to understand it, that we can use it the correct way. The whole process of the knowledge is comprehension of it, not copycatting it. A lot of people around the foundation, they say it doesn't work because they can't copycat. They don't want to understand. And those who understand will suffer because they see the copycats and they cannot teach them. You don't need copy and you don't be a cat. You've got to be yourself. You have to understand the strength of your soul, that it can transform or in a way reposition the soul of physicality. Can you close the microphone in the background, please? This is what the new understanding of the work of the soul of the man comes in. This is what is important to all of us to understand. It's important for us to be able to comprehend the totality of the knowledge, be it on the physical dimension or be it on the soul of the man. This is important for us because in the next teachings, once we start understanding this in full, then we understand the transmutation of the elements. The transmutation of element comes from the transfer of the energy of the soul of the man. If you can transmute copper to zinc, or water to gold, then you can do with your own soul on earth. You manifest yourself as a man, in the space as another. Transmutation of the energy of the fields of the soul of the man is the key to the future understanding of the work of the universe. We got to understand the totality, but we have to comprehend the strength of it first before we understand it. What do we expect? If I wish today to end up with a kingship, it'll be no problem. But what does it bring? It brings another king which is more worse than the present, unless we change, educate a lot, that nobody wants to be the king, because now they understand the other souls have a say in them once they move in the wrong way. Reposition you. There is no need for arms, there is no need for armies, and there is no need for anything else. The understanding of the use of physical knowledge will force the soul of the man to suffer. And this cannot be. The soul of the man, as you see, and the physical soul of the man have to be at peace. Slight movement, you will see the change. Just move the big magnet, you will see. Just a little, in a rapid way, has to adjust itself. And if you push it too hard, it'll flip and you lose it. Now you understand. The neutron carries its center. It's us who haven't got the tools to see. And when it opens up, it manifests itself as a physicality. You see, just keep it there, please. If you keep it the same way, just bring the other magnet small one close, see how much you can move the soul. Just let them go. Now, let it go, let it go, let it go, please. Now the soul has a say. We have to understand the work of the universe on the field strength and not on the matter strength. Then life becomes very easy. Then we understand the totality, impartial reality. The process of the creation has to be understood and not imagined. And once you understand, you'll find out us as those who feel peace in our soul, will move the physicality of those who prefer war in physical life than the peace in the soul. As I said many times, with a stroke of a pen, I can change kingship. It's within my power. But in a few weeks' time, you'll find another king. I explained in one of the teachings, in the private teachings, a very, very fundamental point, which I think today is a point to discuss. Muhammad, blessed his name, destroyed all the statues, that there'll be nothing but the God to worship. What he learned from the Jews and Christians in the time of him being merchant when he went to Palestine and saw the Jews and the Christians have no God to worship as a stone, but they believe in the totality. But the Muslims forgot the rule of God. Muhammad, blessed his name, destroyed the statues for people not to worship. Now the present Muslims use a black stone, the same as they did with the statues. And this cannot be. This is the end of Islam, because the followers do not follow the belief of the Prophet. They have changed all those statues with a black stone. So there has been no progress. But the separation of the physical manifestation of the remains of the Prophet, be it the uncle or the son-in-law. So they have changed their will on the will of God. They have still worshipping stone and a statue. So there has been no progress. We see the same with Christianity, worshipping a cross and a man, not the soul of the man. We are still Bodh-parast, which means we still follow stones, but we think we are more intelligent. One black and one in the cross. Now you understand why I said the peace between the two has to be, because they all have forgotten the path. In reality, worshipping of a stone and a statue has not changed. The reason the stone is in Mecca, it was brought in to make the most evil statue, that people be frightened from it, that they're worshipping and pay more. And now we see the same thing, they pay more to circulate, and nothing has changed. The message of Muhammad, bless his name, is forgotten. He didn't want his face to be copied, that they would worship it. Now they have found a stone to worship and kill in the name of it. If I talk, I demolish the religions, because the truth is too harsh to accept. What Muhammad, bless his name, did not want, these people in the name of creating kingship have created in the black stone. In fact, the temple of the stones has been taken over by a black soul in the shape of a stone, not the beautiful soul of Muhammad, bless his name. Man, being educated in this level, will worship no stone and no other souls, except understanding the work of the others, that can respect in the beauty of what they create, not to worship and make another prophet. we have to understand the truth. We have to understand the work of the soul of the man. If it will take a meteorite to get rid of the black stone, to bring everybody to a new understanding, we shall do. The same will be with the wall, and the same will be with Vatican. There is no religion but the peace of soul of the man. Understand the teaching of this morning. You find a peace to space, and you find path of peace for the soul of the man. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. I'll remind the attendees in the Zoom chat that you can raise your hand and I can promote you to panelist or otherwise allow you to speak. Do we have any of the panelists that would like to say something?
I think they understood.
Sure. So, Mr. Keshe, this is Libby from the Knowledge Seeker students, and I wanted to ask you, our best way to elevate the souls of the Iranian leadership and the Saudi Arabia leadership is to sit in meditation, to wish for the elevation of their souls, to send them love. And is there other stuff we can do for that? From our homes, from our hearts?
The time of meditation has gone. The time of meditation was when the man did not understand the strength of his soul. The wish of the man is the meditation of the man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is what we say, my wish is my command. I wish to give, and nobody can tell me how much I can give. So, my command is the control of my own fields, and it's my wish to give, to elevate the others. A lot of people who never understood this, when we said, my wish is my command, they thought I'm going to change somebody else. No, I command my soul to release what is needed for them to receive, to achieve balance. It's not that I wish to change somebody else. This is a misunderstanding, but in a way it's a good misunderstanding, because then we don't replace our soul with others, and we do not allow others to give us what we don't need. Now you understand what it means. My wish is my command. I can command what I own to give what I like. And nothing else. It's for those who are in need of to receive it, and to be able to be at the position to receive. And if we give enough, as we showed, then we create a new environment that they have to find a new physical position to keep the same soul. So we create a point of balance, because our wish is a balance of the field. This is part of the understanding we have to understand clearly. We have to comprehend what it means. We, as we saw, when you put the soul together, the physicality moves. If the physicality wants to stay the same position, then the soul has to move. And by moving the soul, The physicality moves with it. There shall be no seat of kingship. This is my wish, because I give enough that everybody is equal. Then there is no change in no one's soul, but the physicality moves to a new dimension. In the coming time, we shall see that the ex-world leaders will come and confess to the crimes they've done by the change of the time and the position and the fields which we release as command on our soul. We are captains of our soul through the wish of the physicality, through the soul of the physicality. So we are in command. Our wish is our command. Not to change the others, but to release as much from us that they can receive what they need, because we leave the total spectrum when we wish. So when you give, put 10 different foods on the table, one Chinese, one English, one Indian, one African, the Englishman will take from the food because he remembers your home. The Indians will take from Indian. They might taste the others to see if you all can share something. So when you give, your command to your soul is that I give unconditionally. It needs a second. It doesn't need weeks of meditation. It takes a man 1 millisecond to wish to die and to get ILS. To end his own physicality, and he waits 10 years for it to happen. So you can see how powerful your wish is. If your wish of a physical demise is the power to separate it from his soul, to end up the physicality, now you can understand how much more power you have to give to change the condition of the others. What they want to receive at a point which is there. Every world leader, every president knows the pain of suffering. Every man knows the pain of suffering. So we all have that, what you call, feel the strength of loss and pain. You want to give. Would you like to feel the same, or I elevate you that you don't feel? And none of them refuses. Any question?
Good morning, Mr. Keshe.
Good morning, Azar. We missed you last week, you were away.
Yes, Mr. Keshe, when we say in Farsi, یه دست صدا نداره. یعنی it means that one clapping is not enough.
One hand does not make clap.
Yes, is not enough.
Yeah, you need two.
So if you wish for that, if only you wish for it, it doesn't mean it can happen. So we need everybody to wish for that.
It means you haven't understood Azar. Okay. Because you have to understand the soul of those kings has the other hand already ready. You just need another one for them to hear the noise. And that comes from you. We all possess the full spectrum. It's very much if you stood in a field and a jet plane passes. Nothing, you just hear a jet plane. But if you put a jet plane at the speed of sound, you hear the noise. So everything was there. It's just that you changed the speed and the strength of one to move against the other. Everything is always there. It's for us what we want to make out of it, and how loud you want to make that noise according to what you release. Then the change will come.
Mr. Keshe, this is Nicholas.
From?
Question is, when you speak of my wish is my command, or I command my soul, can you speak of the identity of this I that is doing the wishing, or the I that is doing the commanding?
The I is a collective soul of physicality. I explained in one of the teachings some times ago is, have you ever thought of lottery? Have you ever thought why millions buy a ticket and one wins? And he has to be out of so many million, that number which only he has to win. Then you understand the desire to have on that single number has been much stronger than the totality of other desires. How many of you have ever stood still and think they sell 100 million tickets and one guy wins out of 100 million? What happened to the other numbers which everybody else chose? Why didn't the others choose this number and one person? In reality, when you have a lottery and everybody wishes to win, that's the reason they bought the ticket for. It should be each one getting their money back. That they all choose the same number. But why, out of 100 million people buying a lotto, one person wins the jackpot? Have you ever stood still thinking about it? In the British lottery, there are 49 numbers. And you choose 7 numbers out of 49. In the combination of numbers of the 49 numbers and the 7 is 14 something million combination. And 50, 100, 200 million tickets are sold. But one number wins the jackpot. Did the souls decided that this guy needs the money to change and we don't follow what changes in them in the future? Because we just look at the snapshot of a check for, let's say, $20, $30 million. But have you followed the life of these people? Some organizations do. How it changes what they do, what they see. How it changes, elevates the soul of someone live with a more miserable. The money was a punishment, not a gift. %90 of those who won the lottery before 2010 lived worse life than before they had after 5 years. When you carry a knowledge, it's a lifetime with you. When you win a lottery, it's when you spend it, it's finished. You don't have the knowledge how to make it, it was one-off. It's the same with the soul of the man. When you understand it, you carry it. If it comes in one and you have to do something with it for that time, you lose the physicality of it. This is the process. Why? Is the wish of physicality which wants to get that change. And the soul of the others say, if you need, you take, but understand. How many of the jackpot winners now still have a good life? Very few. And now that's why the governmental organization control what these people will get, that the wealth lasts at least one generation. Our soul is aware of totality. And just look at the operation of lottery and then compare it with the soul of the man. Everybody bought a ticket to win. And the combination of at least, let's say, if it's 14 million, 140 million tickets, 10 people should win. At least 10 people should get right, but one does. So, is it just by accident? Or is it the soul of physicality which has decided that the wish is so much that it transfers it to the soul of the man, that it comes to an agreement with the rest of the souls, the rest of the magnets on the table, that this one will find a position. So, who's in command? The man who wished to have it, or the other souls which carried the command, because the command was so much that he found the common denominator with the rest of the souls. It's so much that even controls the ball which is in the machine. It's illusion. Man has not understood, because it goes back to the teaching of Baha'u'llah, bless his name. Even a stone has a soul, that which is so much, even the construction of the soul of the ball feels the same as what the souls have created. If I go in the depth of it, you'll be shocked. I learned this by playing backgammon. I played backgammon for nearly 30 years. And my wish in dice is 99%. But I play a fool, because otherwise nobody wants to play with you. But you can't command it. Because you want and you can do. My mother, bless her soul, used to say, I don't play backgammon with you because you get what you want. I'm just sitting here throwing dice for you to have fun. But I said, you taught me the game. My grandfather taught me the game. Every time I played, it was understanding confirmation of I have the control on the dice. They used to bring cups, they used to bring mugs, they used to say, just you throw, you touch. I still get what I wanted. But those who played with me, they know. I let them win the first 2 or 3 games, because it's very easy. You'll see the psychology of the man in winning. But if I decide you stay at 3-0, it becomes 5-3. We control and we have command over our souls. It's not a physical desire. We become expert in it. We don't need meditation. When you sit for meditation for 10 hours, it means you haven't gathered enough strength. If you wish for 1 millisecond, you achieve it. Always remember the case of ILS and MS. They wish in 1 instance of desire of pain, and they get it. The separation of the soul of physicality from the soul of the man, and then the soul of the man organizes to satisfy the wish of the soul of physicality. Any other question?
Yes, Mr. Keshe, in the live stream from Marin, who asks, why at the time of incarnation on this planet, most of us have lost the memory of our soul and the reason or our mission for which we have manifested in this material space-time environment. We ourselves, can we take any action to remedy this, or does it all depend only on our higher?
I'm going to stop you. There is no reincarnation. We are all creation of new conditions. Those who speak about reincarnation have not understood the technology. Reincarnation was a tool of fear. That you come back and you have to pay to balance the book of the past. What you did wrong. You come as a dog, you come as a horse, you come back, I've been reincarnated. Reincarnation is not. What we carry in our genes, in our RNA, is the same as we carry the color of the blue from the eye of the grandmother. We carry in RNA the memory of the grandmother too. And strange enough is, if for those who understand more and they can go a step further, is because you carry the gene of the blue eye of the grandmother, the time of the life of the grandmother, because of the physical connection of the fields, whatever she saw, she put on your gene too. Even though you haven't seen her ever in your life across the planet. So we bank continuously back in our soul and in our physicality through the connection of the fields of the before. Through the connection we have made through essential genes, what we call RNA, and the same as a common denominator of the soul of the planet, which has given us that gift. So those who speak about reincarnation have not understood the totality of the knowledge.
So, Mr. Keshe, when people say they remember their past lives, for example, and that kind of thing, say someone remembers they were Cleopatra in a past life, although thousands of people have remembered that, it would be a cell memory or a memory from the DNA structure, or is it actually
in so many ways? Let me
go ahead.
You're getting cut off, that's why.
Okay, go ahead. Hello? You still here?
Yeah, he will come back. He just got kicked out.
I thought I did.
Yeah, it's going up and down. So
okay,
but it's only for a few seconds and then he goes back in.
It's been quite clear so far. So
yeah, we're very lucky up till now. Just one moment. Just yeah, you can take over from my set, no problem.
Sorry about that. I forgot to put the power supply to the system.
Power too.
I do apologize. It's okay. It's 38%. Sorry about that. In the process of setting up things, I forgot to put the power supply, and it just ran out. It was the wish of this machine for you not to get the knowledge what I was talking about.
Well, in spite of the power of the soul, sometimes the physicality power runs out somehow.
Yep, we have to live with it. So this is what we understand, and this is what that part of the process. If you understand the totality of the work of, as I explained in another teaching, we say that our genes carry back 500 years, the scientists tell us. So, in fact, we carry the totality of the knowledge of our past, anything which has been in our path, we keep the same recording. That's why so many people say they've been with Cleopatra, because many people have seen her. Or she has embedded through the connection of the physical soul into the totality of the rest. So we see it, we understand it, and I can go back on.
Sorry about that. We are reconnected again. We got our power back. So we understand these people, so many people say they've been in the soul of, turn it down, so and so, because it means somewhere down the line they are connected to that line. Because even though she has died, she has so many children or whatever, the children still carry the memory of, so we spread more and more. This is very much like if you understand the Islamic religion. In Islamic religion, you have the Saudis, which are Sunni, which follow the historical path. And then you have Shias, which are less than 5% of the totality of the Islamic world, which is the Iranians. And that side of belief, which they follow the line of family of Muhammad, blessed his name, his daughter, Fatima, and her grandchildren and great-grandchildren and the rest, which in Islamic world, in the Shia world, they are identified. It's not you say, I remember Cleopatra. In the Islamic world, they are given a name. They're called Sayyid. So if you're a Sayyid, you are descendant of the Prophet, because you come down the lineage of the daughter and the cousin who married her, and all the way down. But in fact, if you look, Muhammad, bless his name, has his uncle who became the systematic leader. He was the guy who stood next to him from the beginning, not the cousin who was born later on, or the daughter who was born later on. So those who can or come through the line of Sayyids in Shia belief, they can see, feel the word of Prophet Muhammad, bless his name, because they carry the lineage, they carry the line of communication through amino acid. The same is those will come from the path of the belief of Kohen in Jewish religion. Because Moses' line comes through Kohen, through the mother. Where in the Islamic world, Muhammad had to be different, he brought it to the line of father, which they become Sayyid. It's a very strange way. In path of Muhammad, a man passes on. In the line of Moses, the woman passes on. In Christianity, according to what we have, Christ had no children. But in fact he had, we know he had. So, those who come from the both path, in a way, let's say Mr. Rick Clement, you have a child, in 500 years, all your great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren should hear what you said or what you felt through your soul, not in a physical dimension. This is the beauty of the creation. This week I was teaching in a school to some young children. I was invited by the science teacher to teach. I walked in with a bunch of magnets, all the same shape and size, in my hand. And I gave one magnet to each student. And I kept the rest in my bunch, in my hand. And I said to them, do you know something, you lot? You're now all connected to each other, because you all carry magnets which are next to each other, and I have the masters in my hand. I have more of them, not any different. So you feel, you understand the connection. They couldn't understand. I said, now put your magnet next to your friend. You hold it, but you're connected, because you created space between each other's magnet. So you pick it up, you decide that's the space I give you, I don't want to be in there anymore. So it's the same way with the soul of the man. What we call reincarnation is not, doesn't exist. But because we were in the path of the soul of our own generations of fathers and mothers, we have the knowledge. Is in the recording. It's like you make a recording of a talk, I come and add to it, and then somebody else comes add to it. It sits in the RNA, which goes with the DNA. So people who talk about I was here, you were not there, darling. The soul of your ancestors, you're talking about what they have put on the recording. It's not your voice. This is a misleading and fabrication. Reincarnation does not exist, but collection of the data from the others who put on the recording exists. So the better we understand this, the more this hypocrisy will die.
Mr. Keshe, that makes sense, and especially in regards, from what I've heard, there's a scientist, Deepak Chopra, who's mentioned that it can be proven scientifically, supposedly, that we have about 100,000 atoms that pass through, each of us have in our bodies about 100,000 atoms that have passed through the body of Christ, and also 100,000 atoms that have passed through the body of Mohammed and the body of every other being that's been on this planet, because of the recycling of the atoms on this planet and the way we breathe the air and the atoms go out and so on back in. So could it be possible that people could actually, in essence, read those atoms, or, you know, maybe some of those atoms are sacred in a way or special? They
No,
can be...
put it this way. Now we have more knowledge. Rick, let's speak scientifically, because now we understand. We get the Gans of CO2, we mix it with Gans of, let's say, zinc, we mix it with Gans of CH3, and we drink it with the Gans water. The CH3 goes where it goes, needs to go, CO2 the same, and zinc oxide the same. In fact, we use the water as the carrier of the information. We can load on it as much as we like. You can load on it as many elements as you like. In the future, when the scientists of the Keshe Foundation do more work, they understand that they can load one drop of water with all the information of all the reversal of all diseases. But your knowledge has not gathered that much yet. Then if you go further, you can do without drop the fields which creates to reverse all diseases. This is the promise of the new technology, which you understand the totality of it. Now, you have to understand, life in the cycle of man comes through what? Through liquid. You don't create out of nowhere. And the liquid which you carry carries all the information. We call it the sperm or the egg. It's a liquid. It still contains water. This is how the information is transferred. And if you go deeper, this is what I said in many teachings. People didn't understand. I'll bring the soul of the Christ, bless his name, that you will see. Because it's within us through the soul of his walk and talk, and his daughter. It's amongst us. We understand it. The life of Christ as a prophet changed. When he manifested himself as a man again, he lived the life of a man, having a wife and children, the same as all of us. This is what the liquid is. It carries, or what do you call it, all the vibration. It's not a vibration, it carries the essence of the fields of totality. An atom of water is so vast that it can put all the knowledge of a man in one drop. It's a more efficient system than the brain of the man. And it vibrates equal to the others. It's us, by our behavior, we change it slightly, by our need, the wish of physicality. And if the sooner we understand this, the less profits we'll create and the less rubbish about reincarnation. We don't reincarnate. We just bring the memory, what is embedded in the liquid of the sperm and the egg of the mother, which is passed on now is a collective knowledge. But that knowledge creates the strength of the soul of the man. And then with it, the strength of the soul of the physicality of the man, which transfers inside. If you saw the magnet inside, they have to have a balance field that it can stay in position. Any other question? Let us wish, all of us, to raise the soul of the King of Saudi. In 1 second. And let us wish that they walk on a piece of table of peace. And the same with the Iranian leadership and leadership Sepah who stands behind them. To become man of peace. And the same for those who stand behind the Saudis. It's a very, very clear point. I explained yesterday, and I explain again for you to understand. Go under the pages of the news in past 7 days. We saw the French president out of nowhere traveling to Saudi Arabia. And we saw immediately the following day, Saudis calling for meeting of all the Islamic world, his supporters, to what they're going to do with Iran. Now you don't need much to think to you. Who are the instigators of war? Our silence is our wisdom. But we know what to do and how to handle it. You start a war, we give you more. But you destroy yourself and the others, we sell you more. That's how we're going to give you more. You have to understand the saving on the oil has reached a point that it needs to be higher. The oil prices at $40, $50 a barrel are not good enough because the investment has been done for $50, $70. Now we start a war hitting the oil prices, 240, 250 a barrel, we'll get what we want back and we get control. Now you understand the gun policy. So raise the soul of the French president and the rest of those who call themselves world leaders, because the other world leaders are working on peace, which is us. Just open the page, just go with the French president to Saudi Arabia in past 7 days, you would understand. And immediately call for war. It needs a wise man to see. And needs a stupid man to play the game. Any other question?
Yes, Mr. Keshe, it's Nicholas again. Are you saying that when we speak of the elevation of our soul, the individuality of our soul, and we pass from this life, that there is no continuity in the individual soul between what one might call death and birth?
No.
Or birth and death?
No, no. When we say elevation of the soul, it means having more of higher strength, that the lower strengths become part of it. That's what it means. The elevation of the soul of the man is to have more of the higher strength, that you can reach more. When you can reach more by elevating your soul, it means you can feed more. Your wishes become stronger. At the death of the John Paul, the Pope, and Diana. I made a talk in a conference somewhere. And I said, and some of the teachings in the past I explained too, that the soul of Diana reached higher elevation than the Pope. Because many of people gave from their soul that received by, does not matter the crimes she did in her lifetime, whatever, was not as big as a Pope who did so many pedophiles that so many children suffered with. So, whose soul we elevate is to reach, by elevating our soul, we reach both souls, Diana and the Pope, that we can raise both to a new level. The elevation of the soul of the man is not for the man. This is a misunderstanding. Everything, it belongs to us. The elevation of the soul of the man, when we ask for it, is to be able to give to more souls, not for us to go higher. The time of me is finished. The time of elevating the others is the beginning of the new cycle. Because me have already become part of the totality. So I put my effort into it. We used to go to army to support the nation. Now we go to the souls to elevate them, that there is no need for an army. It's a totally different ball game and a new game in town. Peace through elevation of the soul of the man himself allows the man to feed more. When you get 2 jobs, you have more money to be able to look after better your family. And what do the people do in Saudi Arabia or Arab countries? When they work a bit harder or get some more money, they go and get another wife, so they support 2 families. So now we become, did they elevate their pocket, or did they elevate being able to support more souls? This is what we do. When we elevate our souls, doesn't mean that we elevate ourselves. It means we haven't understood the totality. But elevating our soul, it means that we have a higher order, that we can give more, to allow the others to elevate, to reach the elevation of us. Because don't forget, with the work of the soul, which is a plasma itself, the stronger always gives to the weaker to elevate it to his own level. And this is the point of the reverse, from magnetical to gravitational. When you raise your field, you reach the others. So when you become equal, you gravitate together, you become of the same thoughts. This is the one point that even our space scientists have not grasped yet. The point of conversion from magnetical to gravitational, going forward or coming back. It's the same concept, it's the same understanding, it's the same principle. If you understand, I'd start teaching in every level of space technology, matter, soul, and everything else. Because now, after so much teaching, you all understand, immediately you connect to each other. It's become one language. This is the beauty of it. This is why today I asked the video, which you will see till some of you will click on, showing the nanomaterial in depth, which is done by Ella, the head of Keshe Foundation, that you see through matter state, we come to understanding the work of the Universal Council and the Earth Council, which is ultimate point of the teaching of nanomaterial and the Gans, was to reach world peace through the establishment of the balance of the soul of the man through the Earth Council and Universal Council. I don't think anybody could put the video so beautifully as we see now. It explains the work, explains the ethos, and explains why we are here for. The whole length of the operation of the Keshe Foundation from A to Z is on that video. This video was made to be shown in a peace conference in China last week. But now you see it is shown for the whole humanity to elevate them, not just a conference. "126 nations attending a conference for peace. We reach them to our soul." Any other question?
Mr. Keshe, this is Ada again. There's a passage in your book, and if you don't mind, I kind of memorize it or remember it. So
Good, because I don't remember anything in those books.
So I wanna bring the soul into it, and you tell me if my interpretation of it is correct.
I don't know.
Can I do it, please?
Yes.
Okay, so
you see, you interpreted it according to your intelligence. Does not mean it's the only answer.
I understand, but I want to know if my the level of understanding is correct. What it says in the matter's magnetic field, the strength of the magnetic fields go back to the origin of the creation of magnetic field. Where the strength of the magnetic fields is in term of reference, the power of the magnetic fields. Where magnetic fields in essence are created out of the potential difference in position from their source, and the rate of the flow of magnetic fields from the source becomes the current of magnetic fields. Thus, as the position is closer and the rate of the flow is higher, the stronger the strength of the fields. So what I interpreted is the matters is my physicality, and my field, which comes from my soul, it goes back to the creation of the field. It means I go back to the creation where I was created, where my soul came from. And my strength of my field, that I radiate, actually is my power as a soul.
It's your emotion.
It's my emotion, exactly. So magnetic field, in essence, it came from the where I came, how close I was to the creation itself, because depending on where you came from the creator, and also the difference in closeness, and also how fast I came from that point, it creates my current. It means how I maneuver in this lifetime.
You see, your physical soul and your soul, what we call the of humanity, or as a human, which is placed in your, what we call the position of the brain, has a separation by matter content. This is something which in some of the teachings I teach, that people understand what's the difference. The soul of the physicality carries the elements of the physicality of this planet, copper, zinc. So it has a different strength. The soul of the life of a man, which is in the brain of the man, carries those as common denominator, but of the space of the creation of the non-dimensional physicality, which is the atmosphere of this planet. There is a big difference. That's why we have the soul of physicality. In the soul of physical life, in the body of the man, we have confirmation of the existence in respect to the soul of the planet. So planet has a say in the condition of the physicality, which is, I have a strength of copper in me, the zinc in me, and all these elements. So I have to balance those in respect to the soul of the man, which carries the amino acid with very few of these in totality in physical state, but in the strength of the soul of the man in its internal structural strength. So the balance between the two for the soul of the man and the soul of the earth is creation of both. We have something in it. Physicality, which is calcium, magnesium, zinc, and the rest, which is from the planet, from the physical part. And then the soul, which is identified itself to be not connected to the matter state of this planet, embeds its soul in it. Go back to some of the teaching I did very earlier on. I always said, maybe now it makes sense to some people, if you listen to the early teaching. The physical life is a leech on the soul of the man. Which means without it, it cannot exist. It needs it to confirm its existence, but it shares for it to confirm its physicality. So when the soul of the man is created in the womb of the mother, even though it comes from the interaction of the fields of the same entity, now it carries the interaction between the soul of the man and the soul of the planet, which dictates on its strength, the shape, the color, and everything else of the man or the creation, which is created by the condition of the balance. This is very, very interesting point. I asked this question from genealogists. I said, do you see in the genes the characteristics of copper, zinc, and the rest? Or do we see a protein chain? And they can't answer, but in fact the answer is very simple. The protein chain of the amino acid genome is set to carry the fields of the copper and zinc, but not the matter state of the copper and zinc. That's why we don't see it in them. If you look at this genome that they calculated, which is protein-based chain of events or balancing, the reason we have deformation in some, let's say it's a gene defects, is because the gravitational magnetic field of, for example, copper, which is replicated in that position, is not in balance with the atmosphere. In a coming time, when the scientists understand the total understanding of the plasma technology, we can move these genomes. Because they haven't understood yet that this genome structure, what we say, all these, is a protein imitating or gimmicking the property of the zinc in one chain or copper in the other. And because it's not balanced, they don't see it as a copper and zinc field balance. They look at the matter state of it, which is where the mistake is. In the future, genealogists understand this, what I explained. And now if they start working on it, very soon we'll have no gene defects, because these gene defects are according to the gravitational magnetic field, which they are trying to gimmick, in a way imitate zinc, copper, and other matter states of the physical life. And when you put it right, that it should be copper, but if something is moved in place like a zinc, then you see there is no gene defects. Those who move into the high level understanding of the medical aspects of the Keshe Foundation, like the hundreds of doctors in the medical teaching or they are practicing outside, but they follow the Keshe Foundation work, if they understand this, they can create fields in their dynamic cores which mimics the condition that the genome comes back. You will see a lot of gene defects can be corrected, especially in the new cycle of the dynamic reactors which is coming. Some of the doctors who made these dynamic reactors and they're testing it have not understood what they are doing, but they're testing to see by observation. If they understand it, they don't need observation, they can move directly to it. You don't need the motors. The motors you use, brushless motors, interfere with the condition level minimum copper, which means a lot of cancers which are copper based you cannot touch because you're already excluded by the winding of the copper in your motors. Because they have not understood the totality. You have to go into the condition of non-motor rotating reactors, then you'll find out gene defects will be changed in no time. Because with that filter of the copper winding, you have put a filter, so anything which has got copper base, you have to work much harder for it to change it. Those of you who saw the work of the Dr. Rodriguez in the cancer presentation where the breast opens up, now we have other cases confirming one after another. Other doctors are testing it and it shows to be correct. The breast opens up because the soul wants to get rid of what is not mine. It doesn't exist in my matter existence. We can show you other videos from other doctors who are practicing it and they've seen it. So we understand the rejection of the fields. It's like the neutron having the proton inside opens up to let go and then it closes. Go back to the cancer presentation. last, was it earlier on in cancer, what do you call it, we did. And now we have other doctors who are testing it, and they see the same thing, breast opening up, the cancer, solid cancer coming out, and then breast closing. The same as creation of the release of an electron from a neutron. We have to understand more, not just by looking at the physicality of it, but by understanding the knowledge of it, the strength of it. The strength of the fields is totally different. Any other question?
Hello, Mr. Keshe. This is Klaus from Austria.
Hello, Mr. Klaus number 2.
Hello. As you know, I worked the last months very intensive on this issue, and the last days, they build up a new field as like a new dress on my body. All these fields from my soul, I cannot identify where is my soul, but when I go in this room, I be in this. And now so much opening in my heart, and I feel all the fields when you speak yesterday when they have the medical teaching, and I work in the background, and I can identify all this feel, all this pressure, all this happiness and peace from different people. This is so wonderful and so bright now in this state. And when we become this state, this level, we radiate this out. And as you mentioned before, we have not, I give not commands that they have peace. This is only my love and my peace what radiates out. And I see this like a new conscious field with the colors of blue, bluish and greenish and white, like the planet from when you viewed this from a very far distance. And this is all in this field. This is so wonderful what we're now creating. And I can only say, give thanks to all of yourself. It's very, very fine. Thank you for all to guide this. And now we become a new level to integrate this all together. It's very nice, very wonderful. And every time I go in this field, I'm overwhelmed from this feeling. It's so peaceful, so safe, and I can not describe this with words. This is very far out of the mind. Thank you. I give thanks to myself. Thanks.
Thank you very much. There is something which I think a lot of Keshe Foundation supporters have to understand, and that is, what is peace? We speak about it, but we don't understand it. Let's understand what is peace. We are at peace when we have everything we want. Could be, if I have a heat in the house, I'm at peace. If I have food in the house, I'm at peace. So I possess the food in the house, I'm at peace. So peace, if you interpret it in the physical dimension, it means having everything, that you have no worries. And when you have everything that you have no worries, you're strong. Because the neighbor doesn't have a food, you can give him something. Because it gives you peace that he's not hungry too. So now we understand, when the soul of the man is in peace, is much stronger. And go back to the teaching, stronger always gives to the weaker. When our soul is at peace, when we understand the level of soul at our peace, then when we give, we elevate the others to become peaceful. This is what peace means. This is what we say peace. Peace means in possess of a power to be able to give, not to be having it all. But when you're in that position, you're much stronger. And when you're at peace with your soul, it means you're in a giving condition. You're a lover. Because you want to bring other souls. Somebody's microphone is open, please. You want to bring the other souls to the level of you that they are at peace too. This is what the interpretation of peace should be. Having all that, being strong, having all, you give enough to the others to become at your level, not to hold on. Holding on is a kingship. Aggression to find a way to hold on. But soon we see, we'll go, how many kings we've seen have gone who tried to hold on, and they will go, all of them. There shall be no kings left, not in the physicality, not in the soul of the man. It's in the writing of Baha'u'llah, very hidden. I explained for the first time. They ask, which system of governing do you prefer? He said, I prefer the kingship. And they thought, oh, we prefer having kings, followers of Baha'u'llah. But they never understood the essence of his word, which means with people following kingship, when we understand there are no kings, men become the king of their own souls. Then there is no kingship in physicality. It is, read it. We have to understand we are at peace when we have everything. So we are strong when we have everything, we feel confident. So when we are at peace with our soul, and the strong always gives, we give that confidence and that peace to the others to reach the level of us. And this is how we create peace, not by marching. And this is what I keep on telling you. Understand the work of the field. You do not need to look at the physicality. If you understood past hour of teaching, I finish with Islam, with a simple, the line of think of Islam, not with Muhammad bless his name. How wrong these are. They're all worshipping a black stone, and that was the wish of Muhammad. Don't ever make statues to worship that you go in the path of the past. He demolished them, and now these people using it to demolish each other. And the beauty of it is, the Christians and the Jews are supporting both sides. Let them destroy each other, now we stand. But they don't understand, with destroying them, they destroy themselves, because when the path of belief drops in one, the rest of the people see the rest is fake too. This is what I said to the Vatican guys. I talk, you are finished. Now I talked, you are finished. The Jews and the Christians who took side to see how much make, the more they make, and the Rothschilds in this war, they find out once the people find the path of no belief through Islam, it runs across all the religions. You ending up yourself beautifully with all the path of belief. Let's talk peace before you get totally demolished. The loser is the human race, but the winner is the soul of the planet. Any other question?
Yes, Mr. Keshe, it's Rui from Portugal speaking.
You're a member of the Universal Council.
Yes.
Speaking, yes.
I agree everything you say, of course. The knowledge is yours in the giving. But my question is, shouldn't we give a criteria when we give? Because there is some ones, they are only takers, and they even lazy to grow up themselves. So you should use a criteria how you give, right?
Not really. Then you become a king, you dictate. You give, and those who you call lazy in the physical world, you never know, they might be very active in their soul level. Never become a judge. You can only judge yourself.
Thank you very much. I understood completely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question, or shall we call it a day? Be nearly 12 o'clock. Try to teach the understanding of the soul of the man in the workshops which are going around the world. And use the physicality of the systems you produce for man to understand his physical life and the fields to be the soul of the man. Then you find out the knowledge seekers who become your students, they'll understand and appreciate your understanding and teaching. Not for you to become a teacher to satisfy an ego that I can teach. Show the path, not teach the knowledge. As I say, you always inspire in your teaching. Is for the person who listens to grasp from it whatever he needs. And in so many ways, nobody is enemy. Everybody is friend, but they contribute in different ways to elevate you. You've seen the number of flags which at the new video which are setting up. They thought, our enemies, that they silenced us in Accra. But they didn't realize that the world leaders start looking, what is Africa is getting, we are not getting. And then the souls awoke. Now, 10, 20, 30 factories in next weeks and months opening around the boat, but we keep silent. Nobody knows anymore where we are popping up. But they're getting built, they're producing, and is expanding. Their attack on us was a gift for us. It showed we have to work through a different soul level, and it works. They showed our weakness, that's become our strength. Now you try to attack and bombard 35 nations. You're welcome. We are going to 500 factories in next months and years. There are only 135 nations, and they get the tax benefit from it and the investment. You made a fool of yourself. But your soul supported us to achieve what is to become part of the elevation of the soul of the man, to satisfy the physical need of the man. The beauty of the new teaching is we allow the souls to position themselves, to elevate themselves to the level they want. But what we say is what we do, what we can do from our souls. My wish is my command. But I'm the commander of my soul, which is a giver. Nothing else. And by giving, I've matured enough to understand physicality. Doesn't matter, I raised my soul level to that much, so I do with others. Thank you very much for today. Thank you very much for Rick in the background and the whole Keshe Foundation management team, and the Keshe Foundation manufacturing management team, and the core team, the Universal Council and the Earth Council, and many, many groups, especially the transcribers in the background that they translate the knowledge instantaneously, that no race, color and language stays behind. Nobody is doing so much beautiful work as the transcribers in the background in the Keshe Foundation. In a coming week, our supporting management team will make a video to show you how you can reach on the public platforms which you already have, like YouTube and Facebook's, direct transcription of all the teachings in any languages. Most of the languages have been transcribed by the transcribing team. I thank every single one of you in your transcription, and I enjoy your website more than anything else. The knowledge is getting shared unconditional of color, race and religion, and is for the man to allow the benefit of it to elevate the soul of another soul, and not for the benefit of the physicality of the man. Thank you very much. please make your wish the elevation of the leaders of Islamic world on either side of path of belief of lineage in that world, and raise the soul of those who in Christians and Jewish and financial world who thought they might earn something out of it by destruction of the others, but they don't see it by destruction of the others, they destroy themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, Mr. Keshe. And thank you to Caroline as well. You both work very hard for the benefit of all beings everywhere. Okay, this has been the 198th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, November 16th, 2017. And we'll go out with some music from our slideshow, as per usual here. And let me get that set up. And thank you everybody for attending.